Hey there, this is Bryson with Dimes for Dollars, and today I've got another 2-box penny hunt. Be looking for wheat cents, Indian head cents, Canadian cents, and errors or proofs. Without any further ado, let's get into this first box here. I didn't see any enders, but let's see if we can find anything on the inside. Roll number 10, and we have our first wheat cent here. It's going to be a 1956 Denver. Roll number 18, and we have wheat cent number 2 here. And that's going to be a 1956 D. Roll number 37, and we have wheat cent number 3. And it's going to be yet again another 1956 Denver. 6 rolls from the end of box 1, and we have wheat cent number 4. And this time it's not going to be a 56D, it's going to be a 1941 Philadelphia. Well, just a few cents later in the same roll, we actually had a second wheat cent here, 1946 Denver. So that's going to put us at 5 now. Let's see if we can find any more. 1 roll from the end, and we have wheat cent number 6. It's going to be a 1956 Denver. We are back on box 2, 7 rolls in. We got our first wheat cent of the box, 1944 Denver. We're at roll 20 of box 2 now, and unfortunately there's no more wheat cents to report. But I found this odd coin. There's no date on it. If you look at it just at the right angle, you can see like 1994, I believe. So that's going to be a grease dye error. It's pretty cool. The back side looks pretty normal, but the front side has no date. Also, the T's missing in trust. So that's a cool find. I'll definitely flip that one up. Might not be that valuable, but it's a cool oddity. Roll 22 of box 2, and we've got wheat cent number 8 here. It's just going to be a 1958 Denver. Well, we're only 1 roll from the end of the second box, and we have wheat cent number 9, 1941 San Francisco. Well, 100 rolls hunted. We only got 9 wheat cents and an error. So I'm not going to call it quits on the video yet. I'm going to wait for next week's coin order. It's going to be 2 more boxes of pennies. I will bring you back in once they come in, and we can start more boxes to hunt. Well, here they are. 2 more boxes of pennies. 5,000 pennies to look through. Hopefully we'll find wheat cent number 10 out of those 5,000 pennies. So either way, I will pop the tops of these, bring you in if there's any enders. Otherwise, I'll bring you in on our first find. 7 rolls into this third box, and we've found wheat cent number 10, 1944 San Francisco. Roll number 11, and we've got a few finds here. We have a Canadian commemorative bird cent, that's 1967. It's the Centennial. We have a really nice 61D, and we've got a wheat cent. And that's going to be a 1948 Denver. Well, roll number 18 is going to give us an interesting one. We've got a dark, kind of crusty wheat cent here. Looks a little bit older. Haven't seen the other side yet though, so let's see if there's even a date. And that looks to be 1930 or 1920. That's going to be a 1920 Philadelphia. I'll definitely take that. It's always nice seeing a pre-40s. Let's get on with the hunt. 4 rolls later, and we have another wheat cent here. 1958 Denver. Roll 25, and we have another wheat cent. This one's going to be a 1953 Denver. Roll number 27, and we have another wheat cent. It's going to be a 1958 Denver. Roll 32, and we have another wheat cent. 1956 Denver. Well, roll 37 is going to give us a couple more finds. We have this really nice 1964D that we got. This thing is pristine. It's always a joy to see. Our other find is a 1943 Canadian 1 cent. That's going to be King George VI. We don't come across those too often, but when we do, it's always really cool, and I'll always stop and show them off. Definitely glad to add that one to the stack. Got quite a few Canadians. Let's see if we can find some more wheat cents. Roll 40 of box 3, and we have another wheat cent. Looks to be kind of slick. Most likely a 40s or 30s. And it's going to be a 1941. I'll check that for the errors off the camera. If there are any, I'll bring you back. Otherwise, we'll keep hunting. Very next roll, and we're going to have a nice find here. We have a 1930S. That's 1 year off from that 31S, which is a key date. So I'm definitely glad to have that. You don't see 30s too often, so that's a real nice find. Let's get back to it and see if we can find any other oldies. 2 rolls from the end of this third box, and we have another wheat cent. 1942 Denver. Well, we're now 11 rolls into box 4. Last box had 11 wheat cents. This one's been a little slow, but here's our first wheat cent. Looks pretty nice on the back side. Ooh, and the front side doesn't look nearly as nice, but it's a 1952 Denver. Roll number 16 of box 4, and we have another wheat cent. And that's going to be a 1951 Philadelphia. Roll number 23, and we have a wheat cent. And it's going to be a 1944 Philadelphia. Very next roll, and we have 2 wheat cents. We have one back there, and we have one up here. This one's a 1957 Denver. And this one is going to be a 1953 San Francisco. Alright, so 2 more 50s. That puts us over 20, I believe. And we've still got half a box to go. 2 rolls later, and we have another wheat cent. It's going to be a 1956 Philadelphia. Alright, let's get back to the hunt. 6 rolls from the end of this hunt, and we have another wheat cent here. It's going to be a 1945 San Francisco. Well, wow, what a way to end the box. We have one last roll here, and we have an old wheat cent, 1920. It is pretty worn, pretty slick, but I'm definitely glad to have that. I love seeing those old coins, especially when they pass the 100-year point. They're super neat. So I'll add that to the collection here. And then I'm going to check for any errors that we have here. We have a bunch of S mints. I'll be looking for double dies on those. Also have some 92s. I'll check as well. And then I'll bring us in with a wrap-up. Alright, well, we're back with a wrap-up now. We got 80 S minted memorial cents. We got 19 Canadian cents. We got 1 bird cent. We got 3 young head cents, and we had that 1943 King George VI Canadian cent. Super cool. We got 17 shiny copper cents, including a 64D, a 61D, and a 73S, all in better shape. For wheat cents, we got 14 from the 50s, we got 10 from the 40s, we got a 1930S. It's a super nice find. We got 2 1920 Philadelphias. We also had this grease dye error coin where I can't quite make out the date, but it sure looks like a 1994D. It took us 4 boxes to find 27 wheat cents. but some of them are pretty nice. So I'm definitely glad to add those to the collection. And until next week, happy hunting and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.